So here we are then. We've got the comm, as they say.
Who's this up then?
Captain Kirk. When he hands over the Enterprise to Scotty.
And he's handed it over to us now.
Well, in a manner of speaking. You remember last year, the last Kingpins party? What were Rick's last words?
I think they were, "Why are you lying in that wet bush, Marcus?" I remember just after that we had a running race and before Linda came and picked us up.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like a year ago, does it? But actually, I mean, just before that. Before he and David wound up the last Kingpins award ceremony.
What did he say then?
He said, me and you, or more properly, you and I, will be organising the Christmas Dinner 2007.
Sounds like a pain in the arse.
A responsibility. An honour bestowed upon us to take forward this great heritage.
Yeah, I was looking forward to getting rid of all those bloody PowerPoints. And so what are we going to do then?
Well, we must consider what's gone before.
You mean make sure we keep up to the right style and the heritage and all that?
Yeah, and nick the best bits. So anyway, if we start at the beginning, you've been knocking around a bit, haven't you? How did it all start?
Well, there's Pete, Billy Bong and old Clive de Monte Rogers.
With the hat? Like the three disciples, weren't they?
No, 3 joggers. But they were all churched up at the Methodist.
A bit like rhythm Methodists.
No. Pete, look at the number of kids he's got. Anyway, it all started, someone knew someone and knew someone else, and it grew on from there. Mind you, since those early days, sort of the bikes have come on a bit.
Yeah, I've heard it said there's a great likeness between a Kingpin's bike and his wife.
How's that then?
Well, it's probably a metaphor, but there's an element of truth in it. For example, when I first met you, I used to hear all that noise and I'd be thinking, Nigel won't be far away.
Yeah, that gave me a lot of trouble, that did.
And that old green bike was the same, wasn't it? Quite unreliable, if I remember right, and you were often not about on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, well, that's the problem we're sharing.
Still, you've a lovely new one now. If you learn to handle that right, it'll see you out. Much more modern. Doesn't make as much noise.
Yeah, and no maintenance.
Progress, see?
What about you then? Serrano's not green, and an Italian road bike like yours?
No, I'd say she's closer to the Enduro.
What? Good over rough ground, you mean?
Well,
great set of shocks, bounces all over the jiggy bits. Comfortable, I'd imagine. Where'd you get her from then?
they're both local. She's from Bracknell near Crowthorne and the Enduro's from Crowthorne Cycles.
Of course, there's John and Dave. They do everything together.
Yeah, and they're very alike.
What, like their bikes too?
Well, yeah, if you think about it, John's got a Turner, red one.
Dave's got a Turner, black one.
David's got a Le Mans.
Ain't John got a Le Mans?
And John's got a Cathy.
And David's got a Catherine.
John imports a Santa Cruz.
And John imports an Intense.
I don't know. Next we'll find out that one of them has imported his wife from a wild foreign country just to be exotic. And we've got Callum, who's by nature very careful.
Act in haste, repent in leisure. Well, that's the Scottish in him.
Apparently he's a research fiend. Takes ages trying and testing to see what he likes.
What? Magazines?
I think so, yeah. And he didn't get married till he was quite old, you know. Then when he's had enough of them, they mysteriously disappear in the night and he gets a new lot.
What? He's been married before then?
No, his bikes, when they were nicked I'm talking about.
Ah, makes you think, doesn't it?
Only if you're married to him.
Well, what current models has he got now then?
He's got a Santa Cruz, a Cathy.
You don't suppose he copies John, do you?
I couldn't do that.
I remember you'd always see Martin and Jackie together.
They used to do everything together, I've heard.
Not so much now. He's on his own again here tonight.
Is he? I think he is, yeah.
I've not seen them together for a year or so.
No, I've not seen him and his bike together more than once this year.
See, you know what? About the likeness, it all becomes clear.
Colin's another one. He doesn't have control over Mrs. Fanning, you know.
Really? Or his bike. I'm sure I saw his front light glowing in the opposite direction the other night from the bottom of a ditch.
Wouldn't have been his light, though. He's not allowed one. Probably the moonlight shining off his teeth.
Ah, that's why he does it. Whitening them, I mean.
Yep. Mrs. Fanning makes him gargle with bleach so he doesn't need expensive front lights.
Isn't that a bit dangerous?
Not compared to the alternatives. Now, talking of putting funny things in your mouth, where do you stand on drugs in sport?
Bring 'em on. I can't do it without them. Although it's not fashionable these days.
I agree. Although, I think you should either allow people to take all the drugs they want. I mean, it'd show great commitment, wouldn't it? If they were dropping dead for their sport. Either that or ban it completely. I mean, totally everything.
Isn't that what they're doing? I mean, Floyd Landers in the Tour last year, and Vincroft, he was kicked out with countless others. And Bradley Wiggins, wasn't he or wasn't he? If you see what I mean.
Well, it's thin end of the wedge, isn't it? Winning on natural ability alone. What about vitamins? Are they allowed? Then there's eating the right stuff, and then finally there's training.
You don't mean training's cheating?
Well, take that new bloke, New Dave.
Yeah, he's a bit quicker than the one that last joined. You know, the counsellor with the flash car.
Yeah, now don't you think that's strange? I've heard he's on 2 Weimaraner a day.
Really? And he walks his dogs too.
See, drugs and training, no wonder he's quick.
Damn cheat.
Some people do reform, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like Fat Andy, you mean?
Used to be known as Fit Andy in his darker, or maybe lighter days.
But he's reformed now. Well, he looks like he has anyway.
Say what you like, you can't accuse him of cheating now.
No, not when he cycles at the back. Well, what about old Sea Duggar?
Well, there's an example of the harm it can do. Start slowly, you know, the odd 1 hour training session.
Yeah, a Snickers bar and a Mars bar here and there.
Then you're out for a bit longer, 2 or 3 hours at a time.
Yeah, you stop eating probably. First the veggies go, and then it's the solid food.
Yep, then you start to dissociate from people, you become a bit more isolated, even the odd time trial.
Yeah, and then there's the mood swings. You become more demanding for those who are closest to you.
Eventually you stop seeing all your old mates.
All for the sake of what? Glory and the Northants Road Club?
Drugs. Just ain't worth it. Mind you, you did a bit, didn't you?
Me? Well, dabbled just once. It was a long time ago though.
Like Bill Clinton, you mean?
Yeah, a bit.
But when I was round your house earlier in the year, and you didn't know I was coming, I saw your turbo trainer out, a big plastic bottle of white powder, DVDs. You sure you're okay?
Yeah, it's like a drink. I can handle it.
You mean you do it, but it doesn't affect your performance?
Yeah.
You mentioned Councillor Juan Rodrigo Rodas earlier.
Yeah, he's a boy. He doesn't know what he wants. A Maserati. Then he has to get a bigger one to get his golf clubs in.
Shame he didn't make it to his homeland of Spain this year.
Yeah, probably just as well. After breaking a rib on that molehill. Just like Mike Whitland. I heard he took a tumble.
Yep, I was just behind him. I thought he'd broken his back. Luckily, I've been keeping an eye on Scripsy, so I knew just what to do when someone has a fall.
What? First aid?
No, I moved up a position and let someone behind sort it out. Anyway, all that doesn't help organise the dinner, does it?
No, let's have a theme.
Okay, what?
How about back to basics?
Like John Major, you mean?
Yeah. For food we can eat a curry.
An Edwina curry?
That wouldn't be very Christmassy.
Well, very nice thought actually, any time of the year.
Shall we get on with the evening?
Good idea.
Oh, by the way, did late Mace decide what he was going to have to eat tonight?